Guys, welcome back to another part of the series. So let's show you what we did real quick in the last one. So basically, we added this halo in the background of our power up. So we had got the double jump power up there. And now if we jump on top of our enemy, we can kind of squish it. So fun stuff. Show you one more time. And now jump on top of this guy and he gets squished. But I also discovered a bug right before I started recording, and I'll show you what that bug is. All right, so we're going to step on our hazard, or rather our spike, and nothing happens. And the other thing, we're going to push around our enemy, and nothing happens. Third thing, we can fall off the edge, and still nothing happens. So yeah, looks like we can no longer die, which is not so great for our players when it comes to a challenge. So let's try to fix that problem. And I got some ideas on must have been the two things we did pretty much is in the last video. Is this was the prompt. If we fall off even after hitting the gold trophy and we die and the level restarts. So we fixed this edge case by introducing our is level complete static boolean variable. And this static variable, once you collide with the level goal, the static variable is set to true. And if it is set to true, then what happens? And we check the is level complete variable in our hazard script. And if the level is already beaten, ignore the hazard completely. So my guess is that that static variable is currently set to true. And how do I check that? So just noticed a bug, not sure what's caused it, uh, or causing it. Description of the bug is our hazard is not doing anything. Not sure what's causing it, but I can step on a spike, slide with our patrol enemy from the side, or even fall off, and the player won't die. Level will not restart. My suspicion would be that the level complete, the is level complete static variable is currently set to true for some reason. How can I verify this? Verify. I cannot even type today. All right, and how can I check? But just before I send that, let's review the scripts we have. Hazard and level goal. Level goal. So at the beginning of the level goal, we set the is triggered variable to false, but how often? I would think that every time you start the game, this would initialize and get set to false, but I guess it's not happening. So yeah, let's See how we can fix that problem. Oh, my intuition is exactly okay. So it says that we can check our variables in the inspector. Okay, yeah, just debug log inside your update method. So in the player controller. All right, let's go back to our player controller script, find the update method, and just for debugging sake, we're gonna do debug.log is level complete, and this is how we're gonna check. So save this, wait for the compilation, compiling. Hold on, compiling now. Let's open the console and hit play. No, so it is false. It is false. So I don't understand what the. That is so strange. That is really strange. That is a strange bug. All right, now try this one more time. So now it's true, and now this is not getting activated. So once you complete the level, it gets set to true. But then if I stop the game and start it again, is it now true again? Yeah, it is now true again. So it looks like once you complete the game, you just stop it here, but that variable stays true, which is interesting, to say the least. Let's see. Gold coin. Where is the level goal? Level goal. Level goal. Script. Which script has that variable? Static bool. Okay, yeah, it is level complete. Yeah, so it looks like once you hit the level goal, this variable doesn't reset once you either reload the next level or stop the game and restart the game. Hmm. In Unity, static variables persist for the entire lifetime of the application. If you test a level 1, touch the trophy, and Unity loaded level 2, that variable will remain true because it is globally shared across all scenes. We did add is level complete equals false to the await method of the level goal script specifically to prevent this. So let's see if that's the case. Is level complete to false to the awake method. Awake method. Doesn't look like we did. So did I just skip a step? Must have skipped a step then. Awake function. Ah, okay, yes. This explains the problem. See, I completely forgot to add this part. So let's copy, Control C, go back to our script. Level goal. It should be under here. Reset the win state every time a level starts. And now our game should be bug free. Wait for it to compile. Okay, so let's give that another shot. And our level goal object is now false. We can hit the enemy, fall off the edge, and hit the spike, and we're gonna die in all these situations. Now we can hit the level goal, and now it's back to true. But then once the level resets, it's back to false because of that single line of code in our awake function. And we should be all set. So I'm going to remove that debug.log from our player controller script. Okay, and save it. Back to Unity. So yeah, Gemini didn't mess up there, but I did. We did it. Okay, my bad. I forgot to add the just fixed it, and the bug has been solved. Ooh. All right, so where do we take our project from here is the next question. Let's see if we can get some clues from the previous conversations we were having. Setting up enemy collision. Okay, that part's done. Moving platforms. Moving platforms. Should we move on to any of these? Should we move on to some, or let's just ask, what should we move on to from here? So the enemy combat has been updated, so now we can jump on top of the enemy to destroy it. All right, and then pasted the rest. Get rid of the enemy combat. So we got moving platforms, audio integration, and core menus. All right. Okay, so Gemini recommends tackling moving platforms next. So finishing the moving platform logic will completely lock in your core physical traversal mechanics. Audio and menus are wrapper features that are much easier to implement once all the physics and level design elements are finalized. Cool. So we need step one, the platform script. Create a new C# script named moving platform, and we're going to use this code. So go back to project, scripts, create scripting, empty C# script, and name this moving platform. Moving platform. Open it up, and we're just going to copy and paste. Let's see what we got. So we got waypoints, we got speed, current waypoint index. Interesting. Then we got the update function. All right, so it checks if waypoints.length is 0. If that's the case, then pretty much does nothing. Otherwise, move the platform towards the current waypoint. Okay. And then checks if we reach the waypoint. All right, then if we did, then we do a little, what do you call it, increment. Just add 1 to our current waypoint index. And if current waypoint index is more than or equal to our waypoints.length, then we reset our current waypoint index. So loop back to the first waypoint. Very interesting. Then we got the on collision enter 2D, parent the player to the platform so they don't slide off. So if collision occurs with our player, then transformed as a parent, and we set it to transform. Transformed opposition. Right. I don't fully understand it, but okay. Transform.set parent. So we are setting transform as the parent. What is this transform though? The next thing is on collision exit to D, unparent the player. Oh, we're parenting the player to the platform. So the player becomes the parent of the platform, if I understand it correctly. And unparent the player when they jump off on collision exit to D. Collision.transform that's that parent is null. No, okay, so let's just get some explanation from Gemini regarding the code. One quick question for this line. What is this transform parameter we're passing in? I don't see a variable named transform declared in the script, so just trying to make sense of it. Okay, so very common source of confusion when first learning Unity, of course. Because your moving platform class inherits from mono behavior, which you can see at the top of the script, right there. It automatically inherits several built-in properties behind the scenes. One of those globally available properties is this transform with a lowercase t. What transform really means, or in this context, in Unity, C Sharp, typing transform by itself simply a built-in shorthand way of saying get the transform component attached to the exact same game object that this specific script is currently attached to, which would be what, our moving platform. So let's break down exactly how Unity reads that line of code. Collision.transform. Add the transform component of the object that just bumped into us. So the player is bumping into the moving platform. Set parent. So set the player's parent in the hierarchy to be. Okay. Transform the transform component of this moving platform. So by temporarily making the player a child of the moving platform in the hierarchy, Unity ensures that as the platform's X and Y coordinates update every frame, the player is automatically dragged along with it. When the player jumps off, set parent null removes the parent-child relationship, returning their movement to normal. Oh, so that makes sense. We have our script, and now we're going to follow these steps from step 2. Unity setup. So create a sprite for your platform in the scene. Okay, so we need a breakdown for this step. I'll use some sort of other tiles we have to create this sprite. Step 2, number 1. Create a sprite. Break down this part into steps. Should I use some different tile to create this from our tile palette? From our tile palette, create this sprite for our platform. All right. Hopefully, won't make it too complicated. Okay, so we can use the tile from our terrain asset pack, but cannot paint it using the tile palette. So it needs to move independently off the static ground. It must be a standalone game object rather than part of the grid. So let's follow these steps. So go back to assets, art. First step is find the sprite. So navigate to your terrain art folder, likely under assets, art, terrain. I think we already did a bunch of heavy lifting in the past, which is why we have this tiles folder now. So I could probably just use something from here. So drag into the hierarchy. Find a suitable ground sprite like a standard top surface grass block and drag it directly into your hierarchy window. At an end of the scene view. Okay, so hierarchy window. Are we in level 2? Yes, we are. Which one do I want to use? Probably, why not this one? This looks pretty good to me. It's a little different than the grass on the ground, right? Because these are not bad either. Hmm. Let's go with this one because this looks. What is it named? Terrain. Okay, just terrain. Now we got a bunch of cool ones. Alright, so I'll just for now go with this one and see if I like it. But why can I not just drag it? Drag into the hierarchy. Find a suitable ground sprite like a standard top surface grass block and drag it directly into the hierarchy window. So why can I not drag it into the hierarchy? What about this? No, not this. I drag something from. Okay, okay. I think I was doing the dragging wrong. So let's try that one more time. Oh, it doesn't allow me to drag any of these tiles. So I have to do it from the art terrain. Which one I was looking at? This one. Okay, so it looks like these ones we can add. And where do I want it? Probably under game manager. Spike trap. Spike trap. Yeah, I'll do here. Right there. Okay. I got a ton of gold coins. I need to figure out how to make these. So not take up so much space. Anyway, we got our terrain and see rename to moving platform. Rename moving platform. Just size, the single tile block might be too small for the player to land on easily. You can make it wider by doing one of two things. Quick way is to increase its scale on the x-axis. Where is this object, by the way? It's right there. It's tiny. So we can adjust it by increasing its x-axis to 3, position scale, so 3, and it's still not that big, but it does appear very, very tiny though. So what does it look like in the game? If I actually hit play, yeah, that that is that ain't gonna cut it. Okay, did I control Z a bunch of times? Either way is to drag 2 or more of the same sprite into the hierarchy and position them side by side to build a wider, seamless platform. So that is the cleaner way to do things. But why is this tile so small? And why can I not drag and drop anything from here? All very interesting questions that I do not have the answer to. Now, I think I have an idea of how I want to tackle this for now. We're just going to use some placeholder object. So let me just delete this. Just do a Control Z until it disappears. Is it gone? Terrain, now it's still there. Get out of here. All right, I think it's gone now. Yep. So we're gonna do a placeholder square instead of that little terrain object. And then later fix it. So right click, 2D object, uh, sprites, square, and we'll use this as the platform for now. Uh, Square should be, let's place it above the spike trap, rename this to move an object, if I'm not wrong, moving platform, and we'll do scale on the X should be, let's say 3. Looks much better, much cleaner. Mm, And let's see, what do we have to do from there? So just size, we increase the x-axis, and we'll fix the ugly square in the next video. Add components. So just select our script. So let's see. Add component. Moving. Oh, did I not save our script? Back in there. Yep. Control S. Back to the game. All right, now let's try adding the script. Moving platform. Add component. Moving platform is the script. Cool. All done there. Open up Gemini. Now we gotta do these steps. So we got to add a box collider 2D, add component, box collider 2D. Can I rearrange this? Okay. Attach the ensure is trigger is checked. So this guy. Attach the script. Done. Create a few empty game objects that would act as our points the platform will travel between. So let's do create empty game object, and I'll place them under our moving platform and duplicate it. Rename empty game object 1 and empty game object 2. Where did you create these? Move it. Where are you? Okay, right there. Cool. Move tool, use an empty game object. So we'll go from here to, let's say, let's just take it all the way to the goal here. All done. Drag those empty game objects into the waypoints array on the player, on the platform script in the inspector. So platform, waypoints, drag the empty game object 1. List is empty. Empty game object 1 should, I can't really drag it, looks like, but okay, you click the plus and then you drag and drop and click the plus again. Drag the second one. All right, all done. And let's see if it did the trick. Oh, that's pretty cool. it's not, it's not getting on top of it. Oh no, what is going on? I can't believe it's not working, but at least it's moving. Where are we at on time? Okay, we are at 33 minutes. All right, so let's pick this one back up in the second one. At least we have a moving platform. And by second one, I mean on the next one. So we're going to fix all these bugs we have and make our moving platform look nice in the next one. So thanks for tuning in.